Welcome to the player ratings, where we'll be discussing the performances from the game against Chelsea, and I'm joined by Patrick here. But before we do get into the video, quick shout out to our sponsors, Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com to get 20% off plus free shipping by using the code BOTN. Look at Patrick, he's got it as well. So make sure to check out our sponsors. And as always, if you do enjoy it, make sure to hit the like button and let us know in the comment section on your player ratings as well. Patrick, let's start off with the goalkeeper, and that is Vicente for the first half of the game. He had a very good half. We're talking about this result being 1-0, but this result could have easily been maybe at least two in the first half if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, I thought again, I say every time we talk about Vicente, it says I want you to make a couple of spectacular ones, and you've had a great game. He had a great half. I mean, the save he made on Rudiger's shot, which was moving in the wind, was brilliant. And the one-on-one with Kante was brilliant. And he was, distribution was good. I thought he played really well. It's a real shame that he was injured, because I really thought he was on his way to have one of those games where we look back and say, you know what, Vicente won us a point yesterday. And it's a shame, but he was really good yesterday. It's a shame. Hopefully he won't be out for too long, but played really well yesterday.
Another player that we've been waiting for a very long time. Nathaniel CLYNE. He came in yesterday. I gave him a 7. You gave him a 7 as well. And I found his performance very surprising because of him not playing as many games so far this season. He's hardly played. But yesterday against Chelsea, he didn't look out of place. And going forward, he put in some solid crosses as well. I was very impressed considering everything put together yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't played since United's game, and I was surprised to see him start. Obviously, I'm assuming Wardy must have had some type of injury because he wasn't even on the bench yesterday. But I thought CLYNE did really well. Tough assignment, man. You're going to be going against Kai Havertz on that side of the field, with AYEW on that side trying to help you. Havertz was very, very quiet. Most of the attacking came from ZH on the other side. But I thought he played well. The only comment I'm going to have, or criticism, is that on the goal, could have gotten a little closer to Alonso on the cross. People talking about Eze. Eze, actually, when I watched it over like maybe 20 times, was definitely more central. Maybe could have gone over and helped. But on the goal, it came from Nathaniel's side. Small criticism. Great delivery by Alonso for the goal. But besides that, honestly, for a guy who hasn't played that much, I thought CLYNE against Chelsea was very, very solid yesterday.
Has he earned his spot? Has he earned it?
It's a little early. I mean, we've had discussion about Ward for a long time. Would I have a problem seeing him on Wednesday against Watford? Absolutely not. Or Saturday against Burnley. But has he earned the spot? I'm not sure that one display earns you that spot over Ward. But would I like to see him play more? Absolutely. Give him a chance.
Mark GUEHI, one of my best players so far this season. You gave him an 8. I gave him a 7.5. Apart from him being class once again, is there anything else to add that you want to add, or should we just move on?
Just the fact that I know we're going to talk about, Anderson in a bit, but, the 82% pass success rate, won 6 out of 8 ground duels. And I just think that between him and Anderson, they were fantastic against Lukaku yesterday. Lukaku had 7 touches in 90 minutes. The guy is, you can say what you want about Lukaku, and we had discussion on other shows yesterday about how good Lukaku is a world-class striker. Say what you want, but he's a great striker. Hasn't been firing this season, and he did nothing. The only thing he contributed was the offside VAR goal when he had the shot that Butland parried. No, man, Anderson and GUEHI is becoming a heck of a partnership. I'm loving watching them.
For me, you mentioned Joachim Andersen, 7.5 again. You gave him an 8. This game was a test. From my perspective, because I've been talking about Joachim Andersen improving his defensive performance. And I wanted to see how he's going to fare against Romelu Lukaku, a physical striker, a striker that often bullies defenders.
Right.
And he did not look out of place. Of course, with the long balls as well, I thought it was solid throughout the game. But Joachim Andersen's defensive performance up there with Mark GUEHI. And I thought both of them had a great partnership in this game. And it's improving as the games go on. As expected, you have to give it time.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Basically, he had what we've talked about before. Again, headed clearances at 3, most of anybody on our team. You talk about his the long balls. He tried 20. Only had success on 10 of them, but he was trying to put those balls out to Mitchell and obviously to Wilf, because to Spring Wilf. And I thought he did a good job. We needed an outlet. I thought, again, very, very solid. Lukaku is, again, out. He's a beast. And the fact that he basically had no impact on that game yesterday is a credit to Anderson and GUEHI. Both were really, really good yesterday.
Mitchell, he was involved heavily yesterday. We can talk about the goal conceded. We can talk about him going forward. I gave him a 7. You gave him a 7.5. The reason why I had to give him a 7 rather than a 7.5 is due to the fact that that goal that we conceded, it was through his side. I know he had a very good game going forward. He put some good cross into the box, but when you have no strikers on the pitch, you know, maybe JP or Benteke, you're not finding any of them. So overall, we had a very solid game. But with that goal, do you think he could have done a bit better?
It's hard to say. Just the assignment in general was difficult. Looking at a couple of heat maps I was looking at before, I noticed that all of the attacking from Chelsea came down that right side, which is, versus Mitchell. And ZH is a really good player. Had the offside goal earlier that was called back and then scored the goal. By the way, he did the same celebration, ZH, on both goals. Very annoying. Very annoying that was.
I didn't see it. It was on the other side. So.
Yeah, he did it towards the Chelsea fan. The same really annoying celebration point to the crowd. But I just thought that Mitchell played really well. Honestly, man of the match for me until the goal. Could he done better? Yes, but it's kind of hard because he wasn't ball watching, but it was he just, I don't think he judged the flight of that cross very well. And it's, again, I watch it again. It's a great finish by ZH. Could he have done better? Yes, and that's the reason I probably didn't give him an 8. But he was solid all game, man. It really is a shame that you can make one mistake in a match and it can, ruin the game. And it's fine margin, so I get that. But he was really, really good. And yes, I did mark him down because of that one mistake, and it did cost us the match, the point. But again, I thought he was really, really good. It's really a shame that one goal, came from his side.
Let's move on to the midfield now. KOUYATE was back. Our champion, the champion of Africa. That's his words as well. 7.5. He played alongside Maka, which we both gave him a 7.5 as well. And I thought that midfield too was what we was missing all along when we were struggling in midfield, talking about Jeffrey SCHLUPP, talking about this and that. But them two complement each other so well. You can have KOUYATE as that, not as that holding player who's in front of the defense. And you can have Maka who just goes around presses midfielders, and they just work so well together. And yesterday, from my perspective, I saw exactly what we was missing all along in those games that when Maka was injured and KOUYATE was at the AFCONs.
But I have to say, I think it's because of the change in the formation. Playing the 4-2-3-1 with the two of them in front was a massive difference. Does that work with Gallagher coming in? I'm not really sure. But as far as yesterday, again, gave them both the same rating. Felt like they hadn't even missed a beat. Both of them back into the lineup after one being injured, one being away. KOUYATE 94% pass success rate, Maka 90%. KOUYATE won 5 out of 8 ground duels. He only had 29 touches, so it wasn't like he was really getting a lot of touches, but he was just in and around, just, harassing Kante, just in the Jorginho. Maka won 4 fouls. Again, to play as much as he played, because he's been out for so long, they both were really, really good. Again, the reason why we were 0-0 going into that 89th minute was because of the work rate of those two. They played really well today. I love to see them back in the middle. It was great to see them.
Well, you mentioned about Conor Gallagher. He wasn't playing in this game, but the one guy who was, and that was Elise playing through the middle, which was something different.
Right. I
gave him an 8, Patrick. You gave him a 7. I gave him 8 because I really like what could potentially happen there. Of course, we all know he's technically gifted, but I never knew that he could play through. I never thought about it. It's one of the things where you talk about Eze, when you talk about playing through the middle, but when you giving Elise that role, I really liked it. He goes into space, he picks up the ball, quick passes, quick turns, good link-up play with Wilf as well. I thought he had a solid game. I really did. And I thought without him through the middle, I feel like it could have been a different game. We could have struggled a bit more. And going forward, you mentioned Conor Gallagher. Can he play through this role? What do you do if you're Vieira?
You change formations. You continue to change formations. Again, we've played the 4-2-3-1 now. We've tried the 4-4-2. Obviously, I'll staple it to 4-3-3. Like you, I thought he played really well. I don't have an issue with 7 versus an 8. Yeah, he played good an 8. He did have a shot that could have done better with. Same with the Wolves, 2 shots could have done better with. What I really liked is the fact that he battled. He won 6 out of 9 ground duels, which you don't think of Elise as being a tackler or a worker in the middle. You think of him being a wide player. I like the fact that Vieira has tried him something different. He played there a lot last year, by the way, for Reading as that floating number 10. I think he wore number 10 last year for Reading. He can play there for sure. Again, it really depends on who you're playing and the formation. He had a very solid game. His link-up play with Wolf was excellent. I looked at the heat maps. He was right next to Wolf most of the match. Basically, the 3 chances we had, the best chances were all because Elise to ZAHA or ZAHA to Elise. So, Is it something I want to see in the future? Absolutely. But again, it's something we have to kind of work around. But he did play really well yesterday against a very, very good team, obviously.
Yeah. Jordan Ayew, he started once again, and I thought it was an average performance. There is nothing for me to add about that. Did anything stand out for you for Jordan Ayew, or should we just move on to the next wide player?
Well, not really, except that again, his job was to help KLYNE on that side, and again, Harris did nothing on that side. Oh no, I guess she was a bit more involved. Who played left back, but he drew fouls. He drew 4 fouls again. That's his job. To, slow down the play, draw fouls. But again, it was a typical Ayew performance without a spectacularly poor miss that he usually has in a game. But he played solid yesterday.
Jeffrey SCHLUPP, he played, but not through the middle. Hallelujah. What we've been waiting for a very long time has finally happened in this game. He went out wide, which I think is his best position.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't think he had a bad game. I thought he had an all right game. Then again, I feel like going forward, there are better players in that position. That's all I have to say about the matter.
Yeah, the only thing is, he had a typical SCHLUPP game. Definitely better wide. Is that the shot that he had, in the second half? Could he have scored that? I mean, I looked at it again, and he had a lot of the goal to shoot at, and I think kind of rushed to hit it into the home cell. Well, I can get that exactly. I wish he could have got that shot on goal, but I mean, that aside, listen, at some point we have to go away from SCHLUPP and Ayew playing and starting, but. Is it Edouard on that side? Is it Eze? At some point, Vieira's going to figure it out.
Yeah, I think Edouard slots in. I think Edouard slots in next game potentially for Jeffrey SCHLUPP, because we've been talking about Edouard playing good out wide, and if Wilf, which we can talk about in just a second, wants to play up front, then Edouard goes in for SCHLUPP. I think he's a better option based on his performances this season.
He's played a lot this year, SCHLUPP. So I think it might be time for trying to get somebody else in that position, see what they can do there. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Wilfried Zaha, he started up front, which was, look, we changed the formation. We talked about Maka and KOUYATE starting alongside each other, and Wilf was up front. It worked good against Man City, another top side. In this game, what did it make of it? I like the balls over the top for him to run onto, because that frustrated me a lot against Brentford, just constantly playing to feet. But you said it, apparently, Wilf said it after the game that he wants to play up front.
Yeah, it was actually before the game. I mean, it was that when they did that whole thing about the FIFA cards. The thing is, everybody keeps banging on about, why isn't put Wilf out wide, but out wide? He doesn't want to play there anymore, and he's admitted that he's not as good a dribbler. He feels like he's more better just playing as a forward. Should he play the forward as a 1? Probably not. Probably better in a 4-4-2 off of maybe a Benteke or Mateta or even Edouard. But if he wants to play up front as a forward, let him do it, because again, he had 2 good chances yesterday. People say he's not a good shooter. People forget the great shot he had against Norwich. I mean, people say he's not a great shooter. Yeah, he missed a chance yesterday, but again, Mendy's a really good goalie. When he cut down the angle on both those shots, I mean, I thought the idea of playing Wilf up front, like you just said, like Man City, was a good idea. Did it work? At times it did. And if any of those 2 shots go in, what are we saying about today? And again, it's fine margins. I get exactly. So, but again, next game, I don't expect him to start up front. Honestly, we have 3 options in Benteke, Mateta, and Edouard, who probably will start. But I thought what Wilf tried to do yesterday was good, and what Vieira tried to do yesterday, it just didn't work. We were a minute or so away from getting a point. It happens.
Let us know what you guys think. Do you think going forward, Wilfried Zaha needs to start up front because out wide he hasn't got the pace anymore? Is it that? Let us know in the comment section down below. Now, let's move on to the subs. We've got Jack Butland there. Came off for 45 minutes. I gave him a 6. You gave him a 6. There wasn't much to really talk about. I think Vicenza made the most important saves. I don't think Chelsea really pressured us. And Jack Butland, he had a 1 opportunity. Maybe he could have done a bit better.
That's it. I mean, it was a tough ask to come in at halftime against Chelsea and have a spectacular game. Could he done better on a goal? If he makes a spectacular save, that's all we're talking about today. What a great save by Butland. Gave us the point. He did make the save. It's an impossible play for him to make. I mean, besides that, he had nothing else to do. He did parry the shot that Ziyech scored on the VAR goal. But besides that, I mean, he did the best he could do. We're going to see more of him, unfortunately, with GUEHI possibly injured. We might be seeing more of Butler, so I hope he can get the job done going forward.
Exactly. And then finally, Eberechi Eze coming on. You gave him a 6. I gave him a 6 as well. I don't think he done much for us, going on a pitch. That's why that's my rating. Well, what did he make of his sub appearance for Jordan Ayew?
Honestly, I just feel that Eze you know, I like the fact we're bringing him on slowly, but for me, either you start him or you don't play him, or you bring him on, you know, halftime, because I've just noticed him when he comes on in these like 5 and 10 minute periods, although it's good for his, you know, getting a feel for the game and all that kind of stuff. He's not doing anything. He's just not getting into the game. I think he had 3 touches yesterday. He's just not getting involved in the game, whether that's him not being able to get up to speed quick enough because of the injury, or the lack of playing time, or the pace of the game is too fast for him, whatever. He just, you know, unlike Olise, for instance, who does a great job coming off the bench, and it just doesn't get into the games enough. And unless we're going to bring him earlier, it's a wasted sub. So hopefully he'll play more going forward, because I want to see him get back to where he has been in the past.
Yeah, well, I think Vieira's trying to hold him back till next
Totally
season.
agree.
I think
Yeah, I agree with that.
he's slowly trying to ease him in, and next season we're just gonna whoa unleash him. Pardon me. We're gonna unleash Eze. Look, see, my body's saying enough is enough, and we've come to the end of the video as well. Let us know your player ratings, and let us know what you guys thought about the individual performances. Any standout performance that we didn't talk about? Maybe you might thought Zaha done something good, or you might thought Jeffrey Schlupp actually had a 8 out of 10. Let us know in the comment section down below. And until next time, up the Palace.